Hello, like my new friend. So, last video you guys roasted the hell out of me. And although I have not changed my opinion on any of the things I've said, one thing I will say is that the thumbnail and the video title was very deconstructive. Obviously, we're on the internet, so a lot of the things are black and white to people. Most of you will not go into detail, myself included. It's just, oh, human beings work. So I feel like a lot of people just seeing the title and the thumbnail alone did not even give this video a chance. And there was a whole lot of other subset of people, might be you, like, don't talk about AEW. No, you can't criticize it. Don't touch the game. No, I love this. You can't touch it. Like, I feel like a lot of people also have that attitude. A lot of people have been calling me the, 2K knob gobbler when I criticized 2K in the past. For years, I've been criticizing them, and I will continue to criticize them. 2K, EA, whoever the fuck messes up, I will criticize them because I do not care about huge corporations that are only here to make money. So if we do not criticize them, if we do not make any sound about this, they're just gonna take and take and take and take more, which they've been doing, by the way, not just with AEW Fight Forever, but other video games in the industry. You see them, being launched broken. There's no content, like Halo and Overwatch 2 promised a single player. I think it's completely gone now. They're not doing it. Me being set off or criticizing a video game because it lacks content is not exclusive to AEW Fight Forever. It is not. I did not hit her. Anyways, you guys made a lot of comments. I responded to a whole lot of them. I will continue to do so, but I just want to, on video form, just read some of them, try to explain myself a little bit more. Like, I'll start off with Dimitri's comment, which is the most upvoted comment with 32 likes. The lack of a creation suit doesn't make it a bad game. Now, where have I in this video or in the last one, which this comment is from, have I said that? The first thing I ever say is like the gameplay, the core gameplay actually looks really good. And then I go ahead and talk about the fact that this game lacks a detailed, a deep creation suit. Then I move on. Yeah, that's a big part of the video perhaps, but then I move on to the fact that this game doesn't have a universe mode, a story mode, any type of story creator, or I don't know, general manager. And the one mode, you have one mode, because I don't count mini games and challenges as like a game mode. No freaking way. You're gonna play them once or twice and you're gonna be pretty much done with them. Okay? Like, that's an objective thing at this point. So Road to Elite, a lot of leaks have been going on, bunch of live streams. Some person from, I think he was from French or France, he played a good chunk of Road to Elite, and it is bare bones the only legit game mode that you have in AEW Fight Forever, which is asking $60, by the way, is that. And that's not even like at the level of SmackDown Here Comes the Pain or Shut Your Mouth. I was expecting at least that, but no. So, I'm not just complaining about a lack of creative suit. No, that is not the only issue. If you look at the game in general, it lacks content. And if you're lacking content, be honest about it, upfront about it, and ask for a lesser price. Of course, they have a right to sell this game for $60 still, but I also have a right, and you do too, by the way, to complain about it. Why are we paying $60 for a game lacking this much content? Why are you even defending Yuke or AEW or any other corporation that is way bigger than you, that does not give a fuck about, like, not a single fuck? You're supposed to respect yourself as a consumer, because if you don't, nobody else will. Like, imagine if the things I'm complaining about get solved, the game will, like, in an imaginary world, in another universe, let's say everything I complained about got solved. What would happen? Well, the game would have more content. You would have more things to do in the game. Oh my god. Shit, I'm fucking crazy, dude. How could I complain about wanting more content for a $60 game? I must be losing my fucking mind. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's not me. And here's another argument. 6 likes by Mr. Hawk. I think having 50 plus characters and the fun of the gameplay is good enough, to be honest. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken has barely 18 characters per game and no creation suit, but still do really well. It's about the gameplay. I disagree. It's like, for me, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, the fact that they don't have, expansive story mode, more stuff to do in single player or whatever. It can be multiplayer too. I feel like those fighting games completely rely on online mode, which, tell me the last wrestling game that had like a huge online scene. None of them do. I mean, it's partly because the online modes are extremely buggy. They always suck. They're always filled with like toxic players. But I mean, Tekken 7, when that game first came out, did it have 18 characters? I feel like it had more than 18 characters, but I might be wrong in that. But it also had a creation suit, by the way. Mortal Kombat. They're lately, trying more with the story. Like, it has like a basically like Hollywood quality, like badass animation film storyline going on, something going on at least. And of course, they don't matter really at the end of the day, even for me. That's why I've never really mentioned them if you are paying attention. But the graphics on those fucking games, Mortal Kombat, are you kidding me? And I completely disagree with the fact that it's all about gameplay. I completely disagree with it. Because here's the thing, the gameplay is the most important thing. But without anything surrounding it, how many times are you gonna have fun just playing a one-on-one match? I mean, like, I think of All Stars, right? That game is great. I love that game. The gameplay of it is great. But what I do is like every 2-3 years, maybe for an hour, I go back to that game, play a couple of matches, and it's done. Because like, oh, you go back to it, the gameplay is super fun. Oh, I'm loving this. And then you play again a couple of matches, and then, all right, I'm used to the gameplay now. And what can I do? What can I do with this amazing tool set that I have? Absolutely fuck all. That game was also very barren when it came to content. Or imagine Skyrim, one of the best games of all time. Amazing gameplay, amazing like systems working together to simulate a very immersive world, right? Imagine Skyrim was just Whiterun. And there wasn't even that many quests in that game. What the fuck? What was? Okay, all right, great gameplay. I'm done with Whiterun. Now what? I paid $60 for this. All right. Oh, one last argument here is that it's like if Mortal Kombat jumped off a bridge, are you supposed to jump off a bridge too? If other games are actually doing this, which again I talked about, fighting games nowadays pushing for more content. I mean, look at Street Fighter. They have like a story mode, especially after Street Fighter 5. They got roasted for not having any content, by the way. Hello? Like, a lot of you guys are, well, maybe not a lot of you, but a couple of you guys are saying that I'm doing favoritism, right? Yeah, like I'm a 2K lover or I hate AEW Fight Forever. When no, you're the one doing the favoritism. You are the fanboy. I'm just trying to get my money's worth, bro. But yeah, just because other people are robbing banks, it doesn't make me robbing a bank fine suddenly. No. This one has 3 likes. Let me read it real quick. By Resilience, by the way. Well, 2K has shown us that having good graphics and war games is a proper excuse for laziness. And lack of attention to detail, at least, Anyways, details when it comes to the gameplay and superstar personalization. On that note, by the way, if you look at my WWE 2K23 coverage, I tell you, like, the 2K Showcase mode is gonna suck because it absolutely fucking sucked. Back in 2K22, it was the worst showcase mode I've ever seen. I say this, actually. I say how expensive the game is for the amount of content it was offering. You know what I got called? An AEW lover. It's like, damned if I do or damned if I don't. But of course, I'm just complaining about it. I know for a fact that this is the internet and it's just the way things work. And I don't get this. I think just people like to hate on 2K, right? Because here's saying was like, if this AEW gameplay is good as that old TNA game from PS3, it's 10 times more fun than WWE 2K23 will ever be. Which I completely disagree with because, like, when you look at AEW Fight Forever, sure, they have a different DNA, but there's a lot of similarities because Yuke has been developing the 2K games up until, a couple of years ago. And you look at AEW Fight Forever and WWE 2K23, like, they're not as if it's completely different. There's like a formula. And both 2K and AEW games are like a deviation from that. But the baseline, a lot of the things you're doing, a lot of the ideas that you have in the 2K games, you have it at the AEW Fight Forever too. And I think a lot of people have rose-tinted glasses. Definitely, because I see a lot of people saying, SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, the best game ever, or 2011, the best game ever. Sure, those games were fun, especially 2011 with like the extreme stuff, the physics, the Road to WrestleMania. These are content, by the way. Stuff that AEW Fight Forever is lacking. FYI. But those games, especially the gameplay of them, are so boring when compared to the modern 2K titles. Go back and play those games actually right now, and you'll see that a lot of them don't really hold up. Like Here Comes the Pain holds up because of the great season mode, and everything else. That game was like, very good in general. 2K14 because of all the wrestlers and the game mode it has. For example, it has special referee. But I'm insane. I must be insane. So yeah, I just think it's very, very unfair to just shit on WWE2K games when, again, there is a big difference, but it's not like an insane difference between the 2K games, especially right now, and AEW Fight Forever. I mean, it's almost like AEW Fight Forever is like a Frankenstein of all the games not UK, but Ukes have created over the years, right? You see animations from Here Comes the Pain, from SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. Like Jungle Boy literally uses Natalia's town from WWE 2K. Somebody, I think it was Luchasaurus, he uses Roman Reigns' town from WWE 2K. But yeah, the last part of his comment is 2K wants you to use 100% of your imagination to enjoy the game while they sit back, relax, and keep being lazy. Then release another copy and paste next year. So same shit, different year. And I don't disagree with this. I think 2K, for the most of their run, have been lazy, but it was the same under the THQ thing. Like, I've been playing these games for over a decade now. It was the same under THQ. Like, the difference between SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 to WWE 12, what? Because if you release yearly games, you see this in NBA, NFL, NHL, every FIFA, like every sports game, if you release it yearly, well, and if people keep buying it, number one, you don't really have that much development time to add anything meaningful into the game. That's number one. Number two, if people are already buying it, then why the fuck would you change anything? If it's not broken, why fix it? If people are paying money to buy it, and I'm guilty of it myself because I'm such a huge wrestling fan and I have, 2 YouTube channels where I talk about wrestling games. I find myself buying these too. But like, imagine if they didn't mess up with WWE 2K20. If it was, instead of being a horrible game, just another mediocre or bad game as it always was each year, I wonder how the series would look. And it's already feels like it's, stagnating from WWE 2K22 to WWE 2K23 again, because 1 year is really not enough. So Young City here says, he said the gameplay, by the way, when he says he's referring to the leaker, the guy who was talking on Reddit about the game, about his experiences. So he said the gameplay is the best part of the game, and looking at all the footage we've seen, it's obviously the case. Only thing missing is not being able to get to ropes in a submission like in No Mercy. Well, that's missing. People pin you, or the AI pin you right after doing a submission as if they've done like an impact finisher, like a DDT. Like you get armbarred, and if you survive it, you get pinned off of it, just like you've been getting pinned in the WWE 2K games. The AI, by the way, on Elite mode, if you don't go like against Kenny Omega and stuff like that, looks very, very, very easy. Like, oh my god, I could feel like I'll beat the game with my eyes closed after playing it for a day. Again, I know these things because I've been playing 2K games, and more so Yuke's games, wrestling games, not just, starting from SmackDown versus Raw, but like all the way back. The games they made for Japan, King of Colosseum. Okay, King of Colosseum is, I think, Spike Chunsoft, the guys who made Fire Pro There are a couple of things missing. Let's just put it that way. This can be iterated upon and made even better and more fun. And maybe the referees, if they were a little faster too, I think that would really help out the gameplay. But the thing is, still, what we have here in terms of gameplay is great. And going back to my argument in the beginning of the video, it's what surrounds that gameplay now is important, especially when you're asking for $60. And Riley, I think we all know now the thumbtacks are back in the game. Yeah, or not back in the game. They were always in the game. Just wanted to follow up on this comment and confirm it here. And then again, they do look pretty sweet. Here's another comment that just, looking at the title, and I think it looks very fun right now. Yeah, right now it's fun. When you get the game, it'll be fun. When you play it for maybe a couple of days and run out of things to do, we'll see what happens. And I think I'm gonna end this video because it has gone long enough by leading this or reading this comment. English is not my first language. Do excuse me. Lonnie Boss 70 says people needs to calm down. Kenny Omega and AEW said they will be adding to the game as year goes on, because this is not a yearly game. Now this right here is my problem with it. uh, a lot of people in my comment sections have made the exact same argument, or stuff that is very, very similar, very close to this. Then I ask you a simple question: why is this game being sold for $60? When you see a water bottle and you go to buy it for $1, right? You're expecting this to be a full water bottle. And then you open it up and you see that like 70% of it is empty. And you're like, what the fuck? And you go to the cashier and you say like, hey, I bought this for $1. And well, it's like 70% empty. What else going on? When the cashier says, oh, don't worry, in the coming months we'll add the remaining 70% of that, empty water bottle, if we sell enough, if we're financially successful. So there are no guarantees. Go fuck yourself. When the cashier says this to you, will you be happy, or would you be happy? No. So why are you so willingly expecting or accepting and excusing this behavior from AEW? Don't do that. Not from AEW, not from 2K, not from anywhere. This is a product that you're paying for, right? They're getting the money. They're gonna get your $60 and be on their merry way. And if this is going to be updated for years and all that, and if it's releasing in this state, why isn't it like, I don't know, releasing as like an early access title? Again, why is it $60? Why isn't the price lowered? Imagine buying a car, you open the door, you're like, oh yes, finally I got a new car, man, it's gonna be so great. You open the door, you see that the steering wheel is missing. And they tell you, oh, don't worry, sir. The steering wheel is missing, the AC is missing, but those will be coming in future updates. Don't you worry, we'll get you your steering wheel immediately. Tell me if I'm crazy. Like, I'm expecting to pay $60 and get $60 of value off of my game. That's all. That's all. I mean, I haven't even touched upon the DLC. If we want to get those DLCs, a couple of mini games, couple more wrestlers, that's what, $80? So $20 more, 1/3 of the price of the game, for a couple of wrestlers and a bunch of mini games that you're not gonna play probably. Even if you like those mini games, you're gonna get bored of them. Because when I think about awesome party games and mini games, I think about AEW Fight Forever, right? Not Mario Party, not anything else like that. No, it's like when your arm is cut off and it's bleeding like crazy, but you're bandaging your knee that has like a little scar on it. Dude, fix up your arm first, right? Stop the bleeding here. Do something about this first. Get us fundamental, like necessary wrestling, pro wrestling game modes, and then you can focus on like mini games, and you can start to have a little bit of fun. Look at Mass Effect, for example, one of my favorite games of all time, or game series of all time. What they do, not mentioning the third game, which, the controversy about that, is they first get the game done, and then when they release like extensions or expansions and DLC, they're like, okay, let's have a bit more fun with it. There is a time and a place for that, and yeah. There are two tabs here. I just tried to remember if this was like Yuke's, but no, it's Spike Chunsoft. And then some people have been arguing like, oh, now this is like a really common argument. Again, it's just not limited to AEW Fight Forever, gaming world in general. A lot of people, let's just say people and say nothing else, have been using this argument. Oh, dude, games are much more expensive to make now. Well, the gaming industry's worth is estimated to reach $204 billion in 2023. And the United States will have the largest market with blah, 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 blah. The gaming sector is growing rapidly and is expected to increase continually year over year. Sure, the games are now more expensive to make. Let's say that's true. But then the companies in general have been making way more money. It's like, the only thing arguments like that are serving are these big companies, corporations with thousands and millions and billions of dollars who really do not give a single fuck about you. Not a single fuck. Why settle for what we're getting here when you couldn't be getting much more? Not only much more, but first of all, baseline stuff, the things you actually deserve for the money you're giving to them. Anyhow, again, let me say that the title and the thumbnail of my last video was almost to a point where it was like a little baity, little trollish. So I am sorry for that, actually, but it's been a learning experience. It's been an interesting experience, arguing with people, seeing what they think about it. I am planning to play AEW Fight Forever on this channel a little bit. We'll see how the comments are. I'm super interested in the reaction I will get. But hey, remember that I'm a person, you're a person, and we'll agree and disagree on stuff, but that doesn't make me more than you or make you, better than me. It really doesn't. Anyways, let me know what you thought about everything I had to say here. And I'll see you probably when the game comes out. We'll see. Have a good one.